And this is Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Hey there, Colorado running fans. Welcome to this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'm Bobby Reyes, and I'm going to be your host. Now, before we get rolling, just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, the Now What Market. All right, so for this week's edition of Spiked Up, I want to zero in on the 2025 U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon, because Colorado had a handful of alumni compete, and several of them will be headed to Tokyo for the World Championships in September. So we're going to start with the Anna Hall, 6,899 points to win the heptathlon. Absolute domination here. She won this one by 300 points, running away with this easily. She won the high jump, the shot put, the 200, the javelin, and she capped off her busy 2 days, winning the 800, running 2:04. So here she comes to Eugene. She defends her title. She's definitely got a little bit of a chip on her shoulder as she heads to Tokyo, because I know that she didn't exactly perform as well as she wanted to at last year's Olympic Games. 2 years ago she was a silver medalist at the World Championships, so she's headed back to the World Championships, this time with a little bit more of a chip on the shoulder. I know she's eyeing gold in Tokyo. On the topic of eyeing gold and domination, Valerie Allman, 234 feet in the discus. That's what's insanely impressive about this performance is it's her 27th consecutive victory in the event. She hasn't lost this event since 2023. That's how good she is. Adding to this and adding to the impressiveness of her performance, she won this event by over 20 feet. Like I mentioned, Anna with dominating the heptathlon, Valerie dominated the discus. She will head to Tokyo as a favorite and eyeing another gold medal there. Moving along to the women's 800, Maggie Condon finished second here. She ran 1:59.38, wild kick finish. She was just a tenth of a second off the victory. So like the two women I've already mentioned, Maggie's headed to Tokyo for the World Championships. Another great thing about this is Maggie's first race as a professional athlete running for Nike now. And here she goes. She booked her ticket to Tokyo. Moving along to the men's distance, we're going to start with the men's 5K because we had two Colorado alumni in this race, starting with Parker Wolf. He finished sixth in the 5K, runs 13:28. Anyone who watched this race, it was absolutely wild. I mean, it was definitely kind of a slower race with a wild kick finish. The top 9 finished within 3 seconds of each other. That's how close this was. And for Parker, this was his first race in many months. He's coming off injury. He actually raced very strategically, very smart, kind of had to keep on kind of getting out in that lane too as everyone started circulating around preparing for the kicks. But his first race, like Maggie as a professional, finishes sixth, just off that top 3 qualifier for Tokyo, but still a great run, running 13:28, which was 2 seconds in front of Woody Kincaid, who finished 8th in 13:29. Well, that's 1 second, 2 places. So right there, Colorado had a 6th place and an 8th place. And the thing about Woody was he was actually competing in a very difficult double. He raced the 10K several nights ago and came back to run the 5K, finished 8th in both events. The other night he finished 8th in the 10K, running 29:25. So anyone who's ever run that 5K, 10K double, that's just insanely impressive. It's insanely hard to do. And, you've got to be a great athlete to pull off the double. And like being a great athlete, let's talk about Elise Cranny. She did the double 2, the 5 and 10 on the women's side, in the 10 and the 5K. She booked 2 tickets to Tokyo, or, she's competing in 2 events. She finished second in both events. Sunday night, she finished second in a pretty strategic 5K as well, kind of like the men. Ran 15:14, second place there. Several nights ago, she finished second in the 10K, running 31:44. Both these races were kind of a little slower with some crazy kicks, but right there, Colorado is sending 4 athletes to Tokyo for the World Championships. And everyone I've just mentioned, these are former state champions. We're like Anna Hall was for Valor Christian. Valerie ran up or competed up in the long one, in the discus. Maggie from Steamboat Springs, Parker from Cherry Creek, Woody Kincaid from Dakota Ridge, Elise Carani from Niwot. Like, these are born and bred Colorado athletes. They're headed to the biggest stage. Plenty to be excited about. You're definitely going to want to tune in. That's in September in Tokyo for the World Championships. All right, so we are finally in August. The high school cross-country practices are going to be starting here in a couple weeks. We are officially in transition mode. I know I've been saying this for weeks, but now that track is officially, we will come back to World Championships when it returns, but cross-country is officially in front of us now, so we're going to start moving into some cross-country content. Lots to be excited about, as I've been saying, as we enter the tail end of August here. We're going to start talking about cross-country. So thanks again for tuning in. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, that about wraps up this week's edition of Spiked Up. So I will see you on the course.
Doing it all for you, my Lewis. I'm just getting started. Doing it all for you, my Lewis. So I show you spot.